How does a device know what it is? Is it a microwave or a washing machine? As you've probably heard, computers are very, very stupid. They're not self-aware, so cannot know what they are unless we tell them. Identification is very important since different devices have different firmware. If you manufacture washing machines and microwaves, you need to keep track of which is which. As humans, we can take a look and pretty quickly figure out if there are water hoses attached, it's probably not a microwave. But how do devices know? Well, we typically tell devices what they are by embedding some information into the firmware. For example, we could add a little bit of data in the firmware that describes the basic device functions. For example, 1 for microwave and 2 for washing machine. Then the device can provide that information to the firmware update feature to make sure that the correct firmware is downloaded. Going beyond that simple choice, there are lots of different types of microwaves, all with different firmware. Some manufacturers may use the same firmware for lots of models with checks all through the code to do the right thing in each case. There may be 3 different keypads, 4 different power ratings, and 5 different types of displays. This makes code in each device larger since it must handle all of the variations. So why would we do that? After all, if there's more code, it may increase the cost since we need more memory in the device. Also, why add code when we know it won't be used for a particular model? Well, it's easier to manage. We simply embed information about the keypad, power rating and display into the identification information. Then the same firmware can handle all the models. Some more foolish or price-conscious manufacturers may create a separate firmware build for each single model. In this case, there would be 3 times 4 times 5 is 60 different firmware builds. It's quite a hassle to deal with for reasons I might talk about another time. As you've probably picked up by now, a microwave doesn't really need to know its model name or what color it is or even when it was manufactured. Only information which actually affects the operation needs to be embedded in the firmware. So rather than store the model name and having the firmware do different things based on that name, it is better to store the differences, the keypad type, power rating, display type, as I just described. In other words, the identity can be used as a key to select particular configuration, keypad, wattage and display. It's this configuration that is important, not the model name.